Let's talk about how the Cold War developed. I know that one area of rivalry was nuclear weapons.
Indeed. By dropping the atom bomb without sharing its secrets with the USSR, an ally at the time, the USA destroyed the balance of power between the two countries and created an atmosphere in which both sought to gain as much nuclear technology as possible.
How did this unfold?
The USSR detonated its first atom bomb in 1949, prompting the USA to think this was the result of spying. In 1952, the USA detonated its first hydrogen bomb, 1,000 times more powerful than an atom bomb, and the USSR did the same the following year.
In 1954, both countries developed a hydrogen bomb to be dropped from a plane. And in 1956, the USA developed a spy plane to fly over the USSR.
That's right. But in 1957, the USSR seemed to gain the advantage when they put Sputnik, the world's first man-made satellite, into space, and developed a missile that could strike the USA from the USSR.
Then the USA developed its own intercontinental missiles, as well as Polaris missiles that could be fired from submarines.
Yes, but in 1961 the USSR put the first man in space and exploded a very powerful hydrogen bomb.
So was the space race really just about developing better nuclear technology?
In a way.
What other sources of tension were there?
The Korean War began in 1950 when communist North Korea attacked capitalist South Korea. They'd been divided along the 38th parallel at the end of the Second World War, but both claimed the Korean Peninsula. US President Truman was determined to stop the spread of communism in Asia, as China had become communist in 1949. The USA and 16 other countries sent troops to help South Korea, with the support of the UN.
What happened during the Korean War?
At first, North Korean forces pushed the South back to the Pusan perimeter. Then the leader of the UN forces, General MacArthur, landed troops at Incheon and pushed the North Korean forces out of the south and back towards the Chinese border. Fearful of the US being on its borders, China sent troops into Korea, pushing MacArthur back beyond the 38th parallel. Truman wouldn't allow MacArthur to drop the atom bomb on China, as he didn't want to widen the conflict, and the war settled into stalemate from 1951 to 53.
So, the USA realised it could contain communism, but that it would struggle to defeat it.
The war showed how easily small regional conflicts could spiral into international ones.
And the UN was also seen to be dominated by the USA, so it lost credibility. Did anything positive happen during this period?
The death of Stalin in 1953 seemed to lessen tensions for a while, with his successor, Khrushchev, meeting with Western leaders at summits in 1955 and 1960.
So things were better in the Cold War?
Not really. Soviet policies remained the same. In 1956 there were protests in Poland about the price of food, so the USSR sent in troops to impose order. In the same year they sent troops into Hungary to crush an uprising. In 1961, alarmed at how prosperous West Berlin was becoming, they built the Berlin Wall. Anyone trying to escape from east to west in search of a better quality of life risked being shot.
We hope you have enjoyed using Revise on the Move and wish you the best of luck in your exams.